Hey guys, it's Fancy and you're watching the Good Wives Network, and I just had one more thing to say before I head off to La La Land and go sleepy, sleepy, sleepies. It's kind of funny. So Pink Hat is back. Yes, she is. Now she tries really hard to disguise her voice here, but this was sent to me by an ex-partner of mine and a friend. And we're talking more, and boy, have we got a lot of things that we've uncovered. But this one's funsies. So today, my actual um, the motion to dismiss hit the actual case net in my criminal charges for filing a false police report, which I did not do. Hit today. Now, what's really funny is that yesterday, when I appeared, the judge has not read it, and so he went on to dismiss it based on the small little clip of what I told him. And he dismissed it and he didn't read it. And I don't understand why he didn't read it because that was only one part of it. But I've asked the court to actually look at that instead of just saying I didn't read the whole thing. But here's the thing. In this letter, I did say that I felt that Pink Hat possibly held me against my will or kidnapped me in a way by ensuring that I was on a 2-lane road in the middle of nowhere driving towards a town that wasn't anywhere near where we were at. She delayed us leaving by over 5 hours that day, and I think she was already, well, not even I know she was already in contact with my stalkers previous to leaving, and I did not know that at the time. So I have asked them that if they think that there is any case for, charges of kidnapping or holding me against my will, I want the phone records pulled. I want the communications between her and my stalkers pulled. I want her Cash App pulled because she lied about whether or not she got any donations. And so, yes, I did. I did ask them that they would press charges. And I don't know if they will or not. I don't even know if it's their jurisdiction, but it sure as hell is going to be reported to my local law enforcement and be reported to the FBI because I'm not the only one that thinks that this happened. It was very, very suspicious what she did the entire time we were there, up to and including the assault that I don't believe happened, and my witness does not believe happened. I believe she staged it. I believe she lied about it afterwards. I believe that Amber and I thought we saw what we saw. I've been very clear on all of this. I've tried to touch the judge this. I've tried to tell the DA this. And so here we are. But let me grab this for you because it involves two of our favorite people, Natasha and Pink Hat, who have nothing to do with one another. Neither one of them have anything to do with the Blanchard family, nor any of my other haters or any of that, allegedly, according to them. But hey, let's see what they have to say. It's fun.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. Hey, so I had a couple questions for you real quick. One, how did Christy have your phone number? You said she called you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sent it to her back in January.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that makes sense because I had asked in the comments, like, well, how did she get your number, so...
I had my old number because we used to talk back in 2019, but I changed my number, and when I found out that FBAG was saying that Christy had put me up to stalking her and I was on their payroll, before I ever came to TikTok, I sent Christy a message on Facebook and said, are you aware that this is what's being said, and are you going to come out with any kind of statement saying it's not true? Here's my number. If you know anything about this, call me.
That's funny because that's not the conversation I had.
I mean, I'm glad that she reached out to you. Did she have anything else to say after you talked to her about your concerns for the baby's well-being?
No, she agreed with me that it was definitely concerning.
Right. And then was that basically the end of your conversation?
We talked for over an hour about all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Before the baby was even considered
that's just the only part you were wanting to share?
I mean, it was just talk. I mean, we talked about being parents. We talked about our kids because we used to talk about our kids. And
but they
we talked
friends.
About how old they were and all these things. I mean, we talked about all kinds of stuff. We We used to. It was mama to mama because that's what our conversations used to be like back in 2019. We didn't really
When they
talk
weren't
about the
friends
case a
and
whole lot.
Christy
We
was
talked
begging me
about
to stop her.
our lives. She remembered that I had family in Homa, and we just talked about life and how things had changed in 5 years.
Yes, yeah, I can understand that. So, uh, do you think you will continue to stay in contact?
If I need to.
And another thing, you were addressing that people were talking about there being possible charges. It's very easy for people to look that up.
Yeah, I agree. I've said that 100 times.
So there shouldn't be any debate.
Except that it's highly suspicious,
Unfortunately.
but you know.
Yes. Okay. Well, that was my only question. Thank you.
All right.
Now, in that little clip, she didn't talk about the whole thing about me wanting to take her and press charges against her, but she did later on other Playful's platforms, and so there's that. I was asked if I did, and I said, well, yeah, I did, and I explained it on the live that I just finished up with Ryan. But that's Pink Cat, and that's Natasha, and I found it really interesting to me that Natasha states that they talked back in January and they talked about their kids and their life and everything that they said they didn't talk about back in 2019 but did. So they were lying back then and they're still lying to you now. And here's the funny thing about that. I think it's really interesting that Sarah asked her if they talked about the grandbaby and that would that be, how did Christy feel about it? And Natasha said that, you know, they talked for over an hour and they talked about this grandbaby, and so Christy shared that she was equally as concerned. What's really funny about that? She hadn't conceived yet. So is it kind of like the medical examiner not viewing a body and pronouncing it dead? I mean, is it kind of like that? Because you're discussing a baby that hasn't been conceived yet, and you guys are talking about the things about the baby, and you talk for over an hour, and oh, you'll keep in contact if you need to. And now I'm back to being called the F-bag. Except for just a couple months ago, wasn't it you, Natasha, that asked me to come up on your panel and said that there was nobody who knew more about this than the two people sitting on that panel, and that was you and me? And I tried to be real respectful to you over the last several months until I found out that you're a freaking lying shitbag still. And you freaking have lied, and you've had your relationship, like a lot of other people, with Christy Blanchard lately. And it's really funny that I think it's interesting that we cleared this. I did think you came to TikTok on the payroll. Then we talked, and we didn't have any problems for months and months and months. But now the autopsy is out. And in the last video, I showed that Christy called you at 1:30 in the morning to talk about that, and was so happy that you got the autopsy before anyone else. Again, folks, the math ain't mathin'. Christy Blanchard, you got some explaining to do. Oh, by the way, Natasha, probably you too. And Pink Cat, honey, well, you know how I feel about you. Have a good one from the Good Wife, serving up your crime, one dish at a time. Bye, guys. Mwah.